Good afternoon, brother and sister of Dhamma. Today we carry on our next session. Just hold on. Okay, before we touch on the next lecture, recap of last session about the Dhamma Cakkavatana Sutta. So basically, this sutta, the importance of this Noble Eightfold Path, you need to understand this sutta pretty thoroughly because they cover on this aspect greatly on it. You need to have a right deal of all these eight right understanding, thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. I believe all of you should know all this by now. So basically 3, 4, 5 constitute morality, 6, 7, 8 constitute the bhavana, or the mind development. And then number 1 and 2 account for development of wisdom. So basically, you must know this well. And then question middle path. So later on, the sister is going to give you a summarize of what is middle path. So this one and the last session, we'll go to the next one. Okay. This afternoon, we'll cover lecture 7. Is basically, we need to understand this YMBA didn't come by itself. Is this great person which we're going to study that bring this YMBA to Sri Lanka, and we have a chance to study currently with this YMBA course. So we need to know these two persons who strive so hard when Buddhism was at the end of in Sri Lanka, is the most converting to the British Christianity. So almost gone. So with the effort of this Colonel H.S. Olcott, and then his another associate is the Sika supporter, also his co-companion. And later, this guy became a monk in his later years. So we're going to study through what are the contributions they make for the reviving of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. It's very important. When we study YMBA, you need to remember this person, the great, and how YMBA course come about. Because of them, then we have this course to study. Okay? But it's a great help in Sri Lanka. They remember them very well. Good. This Colonel H.S. Olcott. He's a pioneer of the so-called Buddhist revivist movement of Sri Lanka in the last quarter of 19th century. Okay, this is how it started. So we're going to study the life history, how he came from America to this country in Sri Lanka. So he rendered a monument service to the cause of restoring for the Buddhist right, dignity and recognition that they had lost during the period of nearly 8 decades of foreign rule dominated by the influence of a favored Christian missionary. I think I did cover in my year 1 the introduction of how Buddhism was revived in Sri Lanka. So just a short recap. So when this Asoka, the son, brought the Buddhism to this Sri Lanka and then converted the first king to be Buddhism, and then after that period was flourishing, right? Flourished to a period, things started to go back. You remember in southern India, there's a Chola Empire. They keep on coming to Sri Lanka and conquer them. So on off, various kings came to Sri Lanka, and then Sri Lanka drove them out, and they came back again. And this was continuous. Then when the Western expansion of colonization. The first one to come after that is the Dutch. The Dutch are then followed by the Portuguese. Finally, the British. Because Sri Lanka is a country that produces good, what you call that, the spices. What you call that? The skin of it, what you call that? Do you know that? The skin of the spices, they just like the skin. I can't recall the name. Use for curry one and cooking various kind. I can't forgotten the name. The skin.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, correct. This product was very treasured in the West. So it was a so-called expensive stuff. So all of them, all the foreigner coming here is to manipulate and then monopolize the trade of these spices. So there's the starting. And then this guy, he was an American citizen. He born in New Jersey in the year 1802 on 2nd of August. So he himself was a horticulture scientist. Doing with this horticulture. And he has another liking for as a lawyer by profession. So he is trained both in both of these schools. Who through interests in spiritualism, interested in religion, all this kind of thing, and became a exponent of theosophy about religion. Theosophy is talking about religion. So he founded, not the Buddhist one, it's about the Christian kind of thing. In the first Theosophical Society in New York in 1975. And then, because of his interest, the revival of interest, because there's a clash of the monk with this Christianity, and the monk seemed like winning them. And then, our interest, he came to this India and then to Sri Lanka, and then the story carry on. So this headquarters was moved to India, which that time he came down there and saw also suffering down there because of the caste system. So upon coming to India, accompanied by his companion, Madame Blavatsky. So this lady, together with him, has a taste of this so-called religion stuff, okay? And then he saw that in India, the caste system is dividing the society in such a bad thing that those in the low caste are totally discriminated. And then they are thrown right down to the society, which make them want to understand why this kind of religion stuff making all these people all kind of suffering. So he was in India basically because of caste. So he also upon that Ceylon, last name was Ceylon, now current day Sri Lanka, was under this foreign Western occupation. First started Portugal, Dutch, and finally British. And with a dominating Christian influence, brought a national degeneration and decadence of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So on these three powers that came onto this Sri Lanka, when other Westerner could conquer your country, they take over your country, they not just plunder the wealth, they also try to destroy your cultural roots or also your religion. So Buddhists at that period suffer from the attack from this Indian, from this Chola in South India. And subsequently, this Portugal bring their form of Christianity. The Dutch also another form of Christianity. The Portugal start with, I think it's Catholic. Then Dutch, another form of Christianity. And British also come with British Christianity. So all these Christianity influenced the Sri Lanka society. So that's why you see, come upon Sri Lanka people, they have name like the Portuguese, De Silva, okay? all these names, Sri Lanka, why holding such a Portuguese name, or Dutch, D. Ottoson, something like that, okay? And British, later British, when all these people occupying them, these local who want to progress with this kind of government, they have to change their name from their Sri Lankan name into this so-called British name. So that's a problem with in Sri Lanka. Almost Buddhists totally wiped out. So with the establishment, so there's gone. There's still a small niche of Buddhists down there. So establishment of this monastic sangha who initiate a movement to counteract the growing Christianity influence. So you're so powerful that Christians almost occupy in the whole range of society that you have no way to train people back. So there's a problem when the Sangha start to revive and they find that it's very so difficult to convert people back to Buddhism because all of them become Christian. So it started with a series of public debates on this theological subject that took place between these years, 1865 to 1873, between the Buddhist monk and the Christian priest. That is where this event attract this Olcott to come to this Sri Lanka, was so interested. And they find that the Buddhist monk have the knowledge in a way they can overcome all this Christianity preaching. If you study well, especially in my teaching in the college, those Christianity people, they came to this Pali college, they study Buddhism. But we can't go the other side, no. We have to convert, the people can study there. But for them, they come here, they start from diploma, and when they find Buddhism is a kind of, I wouldn't say it's a religion, it's a kind of philosophy that make use very understandable that science, that people start questioning about their own religion, okay? So especially many Christian, I remember one nun, okay? She was there, a Catholic nun. She was there for the diploma course. Then after that, she start feeling losing her faith. Then she never continue. But others continue to degree level. Okay, so that's why when you start studying the true Buddhist, you start questioning about yourself. What are you practicing? Okay, so this is a beautiful thing about Buddhist teaching. So in this debate, the Buddhist monk excel not only in polemical powers, but in the grasp of theology. If you are interested, you carry on reading these Buddhist scriptures, whatever you can get hold of it. The more you read, the more you understand, and the more you become analytical. Buddhists, when you become Buddhist scholar, you must be analytical. Don't just blindly say the book said that you follow, the guru said that you follow, the monk said that you follow. No, you question yourself. What are you doing? Okay, this is how I come upon and become a teacher. Because the more you read, the more you understand. Every day is a learning process. So when you learn, you understand new thing, and then when you have a knowledge of what Buddhists practicing, you appreciate about Buddhism. Okay, that's why Buddhist Dhamma Rupa, the mind and the body. Same thing when you're practicing Buddhism, you still need the Buddhist knowledge as well as this meditation. You can't, the both of them must come side by side together in a simultaneous way. You can't proceed just meditation. That's why I need to study. The rest I don't bother. And then we half-cooked Buddhist. So in Buddhism, you need to practice both in order for you to be a so-called true Buddhist, okay? Not just solely based on your biasing point. I learned this one, I know you learned the other one, okay? So the things happening appear in English newspaper, journals, and pamphlets as a circulation go on board. So this is how this Colonel Olcott came to know about it. So this publication which this Colonel, whose interest was naturally aroused by the religious ferment that exhibited. He want to know why Buddhists is so much superior than what he has learned. He was a Christian before, so he must more have a thorough understanding what is this about. So the curiosity that made him enthusiastic that he must come and look and compare and see for himself what is the difference. So this Colonel Olcott arrived in Ceylon on 19 May 1860, accompanied by his companion, Madame Blavatsky. I think he's a Russian. So when they came upon here, not immediately, upon time, both embraced Buddhism immediately. Okay. That's why probably in their previous life, they are Buddhists, okay, born in a different country, and now they return back to us. That's my gut feeling. I can't guarantee you say this is true, but many, including my teachers who are teaching in Pali College, they are really good in this Christian, okay? So they study Buddhism and convert themselves to Buddhism, and they are teachers for me to look upon, because these are people, Christianity, if you meet those, especially those preachers, and to have thorough understanding, they are very good in talking, which our Buddhist circle very lagging of. Okay, so this is why some of the Buddhists, Christianity converted to Buddhist teacher, I become something like look upon them as aspiration. So after a series of meeting with Buddhist leader, Olcott founded the Buddhist Theosophical Society on 17th June 1880 for the promotion of Buddhism. So this guy found that if you want to promote Buddhism, you need to have a foundation built on it to start on. So he founded this society. Actually, all this it's all copy from the Christian circle one. That's why Christian circle has a very good in propagating their religion. That's very sad that Buddhism, I don't know about your Malaysia side, but Singapore is very lagging in promotion of this. Okay, so that's why Christianity still cover quite a wide aspect in Singapore. So this is to strengthen the Buddhists in their faith and practice Buddhist morals by spreading the teachings of Buddha. The purpose of starting this society is to start all the Buddhist teaching again. And then through this teaching, we can understand more about Buddhism. And then because of them, YMBA started. It's not easy. So Christian missionary already established a strong root of Christianity education, especially in many schools with government assistance. Under the British government, they will favor all these Christianity school. That's why they have a high advantage over the Buddhists. So the Buddhists were suppressed right to the bottom. So Buddhism, meaning a minority, had only 3 Buddhist schools against the 800 Christian school. So just so sad, you see, when your other country take over your country, they will suppress you. They'll suppress you and then put you in the bottom. That's why a country that's occupied by another country is very bad. So the Buddhist Theological Society initiate a program for the establishment of the Buddhist school in English in cities and indigenous languages in the rural area. Remember, the Salis, they speak the language, which was also replaced by English, especially living in a town. All the schools are in English. So you also conduct yourself in English, except in those rural areas. Then probably they still speak in Sinhalese. So that's a problem, another problem too. So to propagate Buddhism, so now they cannot speak in Sinhalese. They have to, in English. So this school impart Buddhist children in a Buddhist atmosphere with a sense of esteem for the national culture, values, and tradition. So these are the things they try to implement to the society. But you know, still the 805 schools still in English and also governed by this Christianity. So what to do? That's why started Sunday classes. We have to appreciate him because it's copy from Christianity. Because Christianity, every Sunday they have these Christianity classes. So Buddhism, copy them. Okay, Sunday we also have this so-called religion classes. So that's how Buddhists start to implement on Sunday when everybody is resting. So Olcott play a role in designing the intermediate Buddhist flag. Also, one more thing you have to thank this guy is that our Buddhist flag, they don't have Buddhist flag at all. No? It started from him. So he started the Buddhist flag with the color. I'll give you all this thing later about this color of the Buddhist flag, what it represents. So his suggestion were taken into account adopting the final design of the committee of Buddhist leaders. He gathered all the leaders from Sri Lanka who handled the designing of the flag, depicting the six-color radiant of the Buddha aura. I mean, Buddha, when he was doing the miracles, remember the rainbow color? Is the rainbow color emitting out from our Buddha, when he practicing the miracle to convince those people. And then his job never ended. So this Colonel Olcott visited many inner and remote regions of the island with Sri Lanka. He speak English. So no way he able to master the Sri Lanka so fast, Sri Lanka language so fast. So he got a companion called, it's a Sri Lanka, Anagrika Dhamma Pala. So he's the next one we're going to study. He's a young guy who acts as his interpreter, working to crowds at public places, stimulating them to get closer to religion and practice Buddhist morals. So when you want to spread religion, you need to act like Buddha. Go places to places, make a speech to convince the crowd and convince them that Buddhism is a bright practice. So this is a way to get more people on board. So Olcott recognized the importance of propaganda Buddhism far and wide to the island and started a bilingual Buddhist newspaper called Savasti Sandraresa in 1889. So this newspaper has both English and called Sinhalese. So this is how another way of reviving to masses. So the English supplement star, the Buddhist, that what I call newspaper, has survived up to the present. So if you go to Sri Lanka, you still can get this paper. So Olcott maintained a close rapport with the British governors of Ceylon. So here, like Buddha, you need the support, okay? You cannot just slowly go on your own. So he has a good relationship with the government in Sri Lanka or Ceylon. So in order he can start his movement or drive, make it in a smooth running way, no obstacle from this British government. So in 1884, he secured a promise from the British governor to declare Vesak Full Moon Day as a recognized public holiday. You have to thank him also. So Vesak Day started in Sri Lanka. It was recognized as a public holiday. So that's why we have on the May, every May we have a Vesak Day celebration. So Olcott was able to legalize registration of Buddhist marriage in temples against the past tradition in churches. As you know, under the foreign government, all marriages are conveyed in the church. So he trying to carry out this tradition. So doing this Buddhist marriage in temple is also recognized and legalized. So that can be done in Buddhist too. Except for those who are converted wouldn't come back, then so in 1891, Olcott formulated a charter that said 14 fundamental Buddhist principles, which were solemnly accepted by the Northern and Southern School of Buddhism. Okay, what is Northern and Southern School? Northern belong to the Mahayana, okay? What can also Vajrayana, the Tibetan one. So they are the core teaching, the rest all different, okay? So including Abhidhamma. So the Northern, they are called this Mahayana and Vajrayana, and the Southern belong to the Dhamma. So they standardize that all these sect of school, they follow this 14 what I call principle. Okay. So if you are call yourself Buddhist core teaching is a must. So anything that deviate from the core teaching, you cannot consider as a Buddhist. You are a cult. Okay. So basically, that's how they agree upon. Our Chinese one, terrible. They call we all 小乘. 小乘 means small school. Okay? You go and study later on for higher on Buddhist study, then you know what is 大乘, 小乘. So the northern call that 大乘. Then they are bigger, they got more things. We southern are small one, but they're not important. All these are done by human beings. So Colonel Olcott is credited with helping to revive the Buddhist education system there. He founding new school and also supporting the restoration of Buddhist tradition. Okay? I mean, beside the education, the temple, which were destroyed in many parts of Sri Lanka, they start to revive, building more temples. So that's why you ever visit Sri Lanka, every corner, you can see various kind of temple, Buddhist temple. So his effort helped to establish their Vesak and as a Buddhist holiday, also as a national festival. So he even written a book, author Buddhist Catechism, that means question and answer, in 1881. in which he aimed to summarize Buddhist teaching in a clear and concise format for education purposes. That's why you see this Malaysia late chief monk, he has many of books of this kind. Easy to understand, easy to grasp, easy for you to digest. Right? So if you have, go and find those books. It's still available in various parts of Malaysia. So his contribution laid the groundwork for the establishment of many Buddhist schools, some of which exist today. The idea of a Buddhist Dhamma school learning on Sunday was his idea copying from church practicing. Right? So this Sunday learning of Buddhism is a copy from the church. So nothing great about us. We learn something that is useful. As Buddha said, always find that if it's useful and good for you, use it. Okay? Don't just say, just I wouldn't want to copy them, don't practice them. Because for the good of yourself, for the good of many, it's good to copy whatever that is useful for your helping you to expand, especially in Buddhist practice. So Olcott is for bridging Eastern and Western spiritual tradition. So there's a great guy because of him. That's why we are Sunday school, and this is how this Sri Lanka benefit from him. Okay. This today lecture may end in 2 hour time. So you're a short one. Next one, hold on for a while. Next one is, his name is Angarika Dhammapala. So he's a companion, also the interpreter for this Olcott. So he was born in 17 September 1864 in the Colombo Salon. And he died in 29 April 1938 at Sanata, British in India. So he's a Sinhalese. His other name, they call him Don David Evavitareni, or Venerable Sri Devamita Dhammapala, after ordination. He's not a monk earlier. It's towards his retirement, towards his old age, like this Bante, late Bante Suvano from Penang. He also, after retirement, then became a monk. Okay, so similarly, he too, after towards his retirement time, he became a monk. So he was educated in this Christian college, Kotte, and then St. Benedict's College, Kotahena, and St. Thomas College, Mutuawa, and Colombo Academy. So this guy is somebody. He's not a nobody. Okay, so he's well versed in both Sinhalese and also in English. He's known for Sri Lanka independent movement. It's related to the independence of this Sri Lanka and revival of Buddhism. And he representing Buddhism in the Parliament of World Religion in 1893. So I think he's in one of the convocation. So he represented Buddhism and Buddhist missionary work in 3 continents. And then his parents is Don Corollis Ewa Tinrapna and Malika Damgun Wardana. So you see some of them, they take the name of the occupier, they convert them all to either Portuguese name, Dutch name, or English name. So the story said he was a co-associate or a companion of this Colonel Olcott, who, with the inspiration and training he received through the partnership with him, and plunged into the task of further advancing a Buddhist revival movement of Sri Lanka in the last quarter 19th century and first of 20th century with equal vigor and ferocity. So that means it's full enthusiasm and also a lot of challenging himself, and also a very high interest to make it happen that Buddhism can be revived as soon as possible. So besides being a revivalist, he also a social reformer who sought to awaken the Sinhala Buddhists from the inertia of decadence into which they have fallen as a result of foreign domination. Remember, occupation of the Dhamma, the Chola, the three Western power, the Buddhism Sangha is almost gone. If you study the university education, your Buddhist education, you study that how come to a state where the Sangha almost gone out from Sri Lanka. So there's a famine happened down there also. There's a foreign conquer and destroying the Buddhist temple. And all the monks, they flee to India or were killed. So basically, there only a more amount of Buddhist monk present in Sri Lanka. Most of them retreat into the high mountain, okay, to find themselves safe from the whatever happened to them. So that is what happened during that period. And then you see that Buddhism was in a despair. And in one of the Sri Lanka king, before this happened, this British power take over, he able to get back with Buddhist root from Myanmar and also from Thailand. And then you need those people to what I call the Christian call baptize or Buddhist call it ordain. The monk again, in order for them to follow the Vinaya rule and to be a fully pledged monk. If you study that in further study, I won't go through here. So with a strong Christianity influence lasting over 3 centuries, 300 years, coupled with internal weakening stemming from lack of social leadership. Okay, Sri Lanka is governed by king. So this king, similar to our Chinese emperor, is full of this called family conflict. So always the kingdom tend to plunge into despair or broken down. One after another, new kingdom form. Okay, so this is still happening, something like the Chinese emperor kind of thing is also happening in Sri Lanka. So many. If you study Buddhist study in Sri Lanka, you need to study all the kings. And then Dhammapala was born on 17 September 1864 to an affluent family, rich family. So his early education is in Christian school. Process, he came in conflict with the school authorities. He's a kind of rebellious guy. So a lot of things he wouldn't accept. So he go against this Christian school. So after his school career, he secured employment in the government department. So he was a genius guy. And then he found employment in the government department. However, being free from economic burden for a living, he could take an interest in national issue. So he was from a rich family, and with his income, he started getting interest in the national issue, the country problem. So his family background instilled him with a deep Buddhist spirit. That's why Buddha always said, when you are rich, then you can practice Buddhist. If you are poor, every meal is a hint to you. So finding food is more important than finding religion. That's why you see many Buddhist kind of people like Buddha, whatever, or his monk, many of them, great one, all come from affluent family. So his family background, because of his background, because he's rich. He brought it into close contact with the erudite Buddhist monk. I mean, he come across those very famous Buddhist monk and prominent lay Buddhist leader, and also those that revive Buddhist religion of the day who were in the forefront of the Buddhist revivalist movement. So you need these people to engage the people and to rebel against those who are against it. So Dhammapala soon acquainted with this Colonel Olcott and became his close associate, involved in all Olcott activities. However, he moved from the theosophy to Buddhism and made Buddhist revival his lifelong career. Unlike Olcott, who formed the society, he left there and then he started his own revival career. So at a young age of 20, he became a confirmed celibate and assumed the epithet Angarika. And his name means homeless. So he even left the good employment and took up residence of BTS headquarters and make a start by accompanying Olcott on his popular lecture tour in the country as his interpreter. That's how he left his job and then joined with this colonel. Together, they tour the whole Sri Lanka and then start propagate Buddhism to the masses. And then he found that when majority of the Sinhalese people copy the Western lifestyle, Western culture, so he ridiculed the habit the local Sinhalese were accustomed of aping and copying the Western lifestyle. So, as you know, Western lifestyle, we don't say it's bad, but it's of materialistic seeking kind of mentality that enjoyment over other things. So he campaigned vigorously against alcoholism and consumption of animal flesh. So this was the Western way of life. So he popularized the national dress of Sinhala and he encouraged the local loom industry and set up several weaving centers. In the old days, Sri Lanka is famous for this making of textile. So this was abandoned when the British was there. So this is how he tried to revive back all the old trade. So he popularized the English journal, the Buddhists in India, in Europe, America, and Australia. That's why this Buddhist journal can spread far and wide. So it's the most covering the whole of the world. So he took the message of the Buddha to Japan, Europe, America. So all this is he try to popularize it by going to country, giving talk, undertaking lecture tours. Because he was blessed with a rich father, lavishly provided the financial resources for these activities. Okay, let's say a monk, without the support, I mean all this money, you cannot do all these things. So the rich father helped him in a way to cover all his aspect of traveling. So he's so blessed with it. Okay, so he has no worry about money. So his pilgrimage to Buddha Gaya, another milestone of his career. So he has some good thing. Another good thing he did in India. Most sacred Buddhist site was in a dilapidated condition. I mean, is it destroyed, totally uncared, totally destroyed. Was in the possession of a Hindu chieftain and belonged to a Hindu. So he took up residence in India and initiated a vigorous movement to recover the possession and control of the site of Buddha Gaya. Remember, Buddha Gaya is one of Buddhist pilgrimage place for the Buddhists by negotiating with the government of India and instituting legislation in Indian court. So if you want to take over the place which belongs to the Hindu, you need the help of the government. So he managed to get in touch with the Indian government, and with a lot of persuasion and then a lot of support from the local, he managed to get it done. I stop for a while. 10 minutes time, we continue. Okay, say about 2 p.m. Okay.